Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Leopard 1, it's a tier 10 German medium tank. It's located on the north spawn of Malinovka and it's under the command of Awppenheimer, and you can see 3 marks of excellence on the barrel of his gun, and alongside him in the Centurion Action 10 is Rapturing. Okay, some 105mm main gun with capability of doing 420 alpha and penetrating 278mm of armor. This tank moves at 70 kilometers an hour. It's as fast as a light tank, but it's also got armor like a light tank as well. Unfortunately, very weak on armor indeed. 70mm at the front of the hull, 52 at the front of the turret. The rest is, well, fairly thin, so you don't want to get hit if you're in one of these tanks. But that L7A1 main gun is absolutely phenomenal in its capability. It's very, very accurate indeed. It's a British design, but it's built by Rheinmetall. In fact, the entire tank was basically designed by Porsche, would you believe it, as part of the German contribution towards a European tank. And in fact, actually, they built 6,565 of them in total. He's blind firing at enemy tanks that are spotted on the minimap, which he can't see. Not all of those were tanks, by the way. 4,744 of them were main battle tanks, and 1,741 of them were utility tanks. That is, engineering vehicles, recovery vehicles, all the sort of other tanks and vehicles that you need in order to operate an armoured force in the field. Now, they started work on this in the collaborative project in 1956. They had the first prototype by 1965, built by Kraus Maffei, and after that it was built by the Germans and used for their armed forces, but it was also bought by Australia, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Greece, Italy, Lebanon, Turkey, Brazil, Chile, Ecuador, Germany of course, Norway and Finland, and even the United Kingdom bought 4 of them just for evaluation purposes. Yeah, so I wonder where those 4 are now. Roaming the countryside in a European country, I think, right now. In fact, quite a few of these are going to be seen in action in a nearby conflict, you could say. Well, only 2 tanks went up the hill, a Viz-55 and an IS-32. Oh, it's been spotted. RU-251 saw him. Now this tank is best played as a sniper from afar, almost like a TD in fact. And he spotted 2 enemy tanks already, a T-10 and Object 279E. Now the penetration on these rounds is really good. 278mm with standard APCR, but you can see that Awppenheimer has actually loaded a fair amount of the premium APCR, which is capable of 323mm. Well, the first pen he gets is on the AMX-50-120. Well, it's not his first pen, actually. He did get the CS-63. Oh, and he's got his first kill! AMX-50-120 goes down. That 279E looks like he's been tracked for the moment. Fires one in his direction. Didn't get through. T-30 should be able to get through the hull. Oh, it looks like it bounced off the upper plate. Looking around for the outline of the other tanks. Don't go for the turret on T-30. I think he was trying to get the turret ring there. Unless, of course, you're side onto the turret, then you can hit the side of it. Goes for the lower plates of the concrete, and he gets a pen. 467's a high roll. Go for it again. And he takes the concrete out of the game, so that's his second kill. T-30 side on, should be able to pen that. Oh, I think he didn't follow that closely enough. And these enemy are getting rather close. We've lost the Viz-55, and I think the IS-32 is not long for this world. He's down to 59 hit points. But a hurry, there's the 279E. Okay, our teammate in the IS-32 is down, so there's no enemy between us, no teammates between us and the enemy now. And at last he gets a pen into the 279E, and I think he pulled him sideways when he did. Fires another one in. We didn't see what happened to that one. T10, can you get a pen on that one? I don't know. Standard reload 8.92 seconds, and Awppenheimer's got 7.25. That T92 is about to get run over. He hasn't got long for this world. I think he chose the wrong place to go, and I think we just ran into someone. We fire one in and get a penetrating shot on the 279E, but our T92 is now dead. Rapturing just got killed by an STB-1 on the enemy team. I think it's that one. So he is still racking up damage, 3.5k already. But we've lost our teammate. We're down by 4 tanks, and we're kind of being squeezed into this area around the inlet. And we've now got enemy coming from behind us as well. Makes it very difficult because he can't fight in one direction if he gets spotted. He takes the STB-1 out of the game. I'm not sure if that's the one that killed Rapturing, but let's hope it is. The enemy does have more than one STB-1. Okay, CS-59, hurry. We're losing tanks hand over fist now. 4 tanks down on the enemy. That STB-1's trying to get around us. T10. Okay, T30. Yes, he got that one, or got a pen. Low roll, 391. He's pulled back as far as he can. This is about as far as he can go now. I don't think he can pop up any further. But there's the STB-1. He's coming this way. Oh, we take one hit from his 105mm. And we did get spotted. See who's coming in. One tank is... Whoa! CS-63 takes a round in the side. He's headed this way. And comes in for a ram. Doesn't work out so well. And I think he's going to go down. We'll beat him on the reload. And he's gone down anyway. Okay, they're capping with 2 in the cap. And, oh, T10 comes in and ram kills. And that's the last one in the game. The Leopard prototype goes down. He tried to carry. He couldn't carry enough on this one. Here's the end of battle stats. That was the 3rd class tanker for Awppenheimer in the Leopard 1. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. Fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 7. And he got the high caliber in the game for doing the most damage. But sadly, he just could not carry the rest of his team because they left him too much to do. And he was in too confined an area to actually do it. His win rate from that game, 8,974, which is Super Unicorn standard. He said 7.2k to carry. Couldn't do enough. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, the high caliber was 7,236 hit points of damage. The next highest scorer was the STB-1 on the enemy team. I think that might be the one that killed his platoon mate, Rapturing. Just have a quick check. BVS146. Yes, that is the guy. Yep. Their top player, 4,171 hit points of damage, and third highest damage went to the Bobject, the 4,018 hit points of damage to their Object 268 version 4. When it came to kills, it was Awppenheimer again, 4 kills to him, 3 kills to the Hori 1, and 2 kills went to the STB-1, their Bobject, the TL7, and the T10. Nobody on our team other than Awppenheimer managed to get more than 1 kill. And when it came to base XP, it's the STB-1 and the Bobject who are the only ones to score over 1,000, with their Hori 1 getting 929. And we can see Awppenheimer got 541 out of that game. And we can see that if we look at the figures, that Rapturing got 661 hit points of damage. He did get a kill and 207 XP. He fired 28 rounds, got 24 direct hits on the enemy, 17 penetrations. Not all of the rounds actually went through. I'm noticing that he was firing at them. Only some tanks were actually seemed to be getting penetrated. He was having a lot of difficulty with the 279E until, of course, he turned sideways. Then he got those shells in. 7,236 hit points of damage, of which 3,083 were at more than 300 meters, so fair amount of damage at long range as well. 3 hits received, all 3 penetrated. I did say the armor on this tank is very, very thin. Anything gets through, really. 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, 1,367 hit points of spotting assist. Now, he did earn a loss on this game, but it wasn't that much. 18,364 credits. And that's mainly down to the fact that, yes, he did have resupply of consumables there, and that cost him So yeah, he would have made a profit, a tiny profit, if he hadn't had that consumables. He did have to fire a lot of premium ammo during that game as well, but there again, he was faced with some very difficult tanks to take down, the reward tanks such as the 279E and others. He also picked up 5 bonds for this being tier 10 and 2,571 experience points altogether. So yeah, couldn't do enough in this one to win, but at least he tried. Let's have a look at the second game. The second replay is in the Object 777 version 2, which is a tier 9 Russian premium heavy tank, and we're on the south spawn of El Halluff. Well, you may notice in this replay, Rapturing's not playing. Now, this was a replay from some days later. Now, the main gun on this tank is a 122mm, capable of 440 alpha, and with the standard rounds, it will penetrate 258mm. With the heat rounds, it will go through 340mm. Now, it's actually quite an interesting design, built at the Kirov factory in 1953. They made a prototype, and it was a cast hull with a streamlined turret. Development stopped, there was no mass production, and they went with the redesign of the T10 series instead. Of course, 1953, that was when Stalin died, and that's why they stopped using the IS series of names and started using other names instead. It's actually got quite a bouncy turret, this tank, so it's actually quite interesting, but the hull can be penetrated if you can get around in. So it's a question of being hull down. The only problem is it's only got 6 degrees of gun depression. It's one of the reward tanks, or tanks you can get for the bonuses or the coins in various games. Well, it looks like we've got a full line here, and he was trying to barge his way through because, of course, he's a better player than the others, and he needs to be at the front if he's going to get serious damage on these guys. Yes, I know they might say, well, who are you to go in there? But he's a guy who actually does tend to get large amounts of damage on the enemy, so they want their best player at the front. Sometimes you just have to assert yourself and say, look, I am the best player here, please let me through, let me do the most. The other guys have moved away. The list is actually just down at the other end of the row. You see that? FP4202 doesn't want to come up now. Okay, we're going to move down. There is a T49 somewhere down there. He's just going to have a quick look. Can't see him. Of course, the first time we might see him or feel him. And our teammates have actually moved up behind us as well. Now, it might be better for him to go down to the end of the road rather than try and come up over the top, because, of course, he hasn't got the gun depression to go up over that ridge, but he has got the ability to work these corners. Okay, the BZ-68's overcommitted. Oh, Borsig! And we get a penetrating into him, but he doesn't penetrate our turret. And we managed to get 448, which is a high roll. Okay, he's going to work that Borsig. I'd say from the hit that we received that he's got the 128mm gun. Okay, 252U pokes his nose round, waiting for him to poke a little further, and then we'll put a round in. Meanwhile, this CC1 Mark II trying to get at the BZ, so we can do that. Thank you very much. Front of the turret. Didn't pen. Okay. Well, we're using the heat round, so we should have penned. Okay, now he knew we were in reload, so he thought he could sneak around in the 252U, which of course is the plainclothes version of the Defender. Of course, he's one tier lower than us, so for every bit of damage he does, he gets 10% extra XP. Our CC1 Mark II is receiving fire from that BZ, so I think we might have to come around the corner. Oh, the FP4202 is gone. One shot in, and he's gone out the game. Admittedly, we probably didn't do all the work on that. Now we can take him down the hull. Yep. 414, which is the low roll. Okay, he is badly damaged, that guy. He's lost his driver, fuel tank's gone, his tracks are damaged. Okay, we're going to go around this way. Okay, pumps one into the 122 TM. Oh, don't block. I think he's trying to block his Renegade there. Teammate. He's trying to, yes, he's trying to side scrape out, get the turret on the 122. The Cupola, yes, he gets it. He gets a high roll for 437. Don't block the Renegade on the way back though. Or Renegade did take damage. Okay, the guy's lost his driver and his track. Pumps one into the 704. Gets a low roll. 122 is a one shot. We can take him out one round. Lower plates. Oh, now 704. He actually got the side armor, which is kind of sloped or angled. And looks like he took a hit from the Renegade as well, which means now he's turning to go away. So he'd be a better shot. Oh, the 252U was trying to play dead and see if we would ignore him. But no, he's gone. We didn't get the kill though. The Renegade got it instead. The 704 is down there. Oh! E75TS takes a hit. He goes down, but we didn't get the kill. And we've been tracked. The Shrek is trying to get us from a long way away. Sweet. And he takes a big hit for 476, which is a high roll. There's no enemy tanks around this corner, as far as we can tell, unless the Charfu 204 is around there. Just have a quick look. No, he's gone round behind us. That's why. And he's been seen to. There's an M6Y. But I think we're going to ignore him because our T832 is actually going at him, the Terminator tank. And the others have turned round to deal with him. So, yes, I don't think that M6Y is going to last very long. In fact, he has gone down. In fact, the Fox got him in the end. The list, the guy who was actually way at the back when we first, or was in that lineup when we first appeared at the confrontation point. But you can see Awppenheimer's already got 4,384 hit points of damage, so he has been using... Oh, now that's interesting. Doom Turtle's been spotted. And the Doom Turtle obviously reacted. He knew they'd been spotted. And his reaction was, those guys are in my rear. I have to move forward. And now, of course, we've got him by the ass. And he's just going to take rounds. So we just move up behind him, block him from actually turning around, and just keep perforating his very, very weak rear. Because he has got a weak rear. Every shell will just go straight through. In fact, actually, I think you might even be able to put an HE round through his rear. Remember those big boxes on top of the fuel tanks? Yeah, everything is going through. And the kill shot goes to the Renegade, who's probably saying, thank you very much for dropping his hit points low enough for me to get the kill. There's only one enemy left. And yes, Awppenheimer's only got the one kill so far out of this game. The enemy tank still remaining is the Charfu 204, who is over there behind the other ruins of this village. Oh, he does get one round through. It went through the brick walls to get to him, and he's out the game. And the kill shot went to the Kunstpanzer, and look at all those bounce shells. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Awppenheimer in the Object 777 version 2. He managed to get a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. A high caliber, again, after the last battle, where he managed to get the most damage in the game. And he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else in his team. And now I think you can see why he deserved to be right at the front, because, of course, after all, he's going to get the most damage in any game. 5,806 was the win 8, Super Unicum Standard, and a bit more. Let's have a look at the team score. 6,103 hit points of damage. Emphatically got it, because the next highest scorer only had 3,939, and that was the Renegade. Yes, he was one of the ones he pushed out of the way, and he actually did block him at one point, actually, and he did take damage, so I'm sure the Renegade was not appreciating that, but then he did pick up a lot of kills at Awppenheimer managed to give him, simply by virtue of the fact that Awppenheimer could effectively keep stripping those enemy tanks of their hit points and just handed the enemy tanks to the Renegade on a plate, so he could just one-shot them out the game, just like that. When it came to the third highest damage in the game, that went to the Shrek on our team, 2,528. When it came to kills, it was the Renegade. Yes, he was kill-stealing like a champion. 4 kills to him, 2 kills to the Shrek, the Striv 1030, and the Barask. 1 kill to Awppenheimer, but then on the enemy team, there was only 5 kills by their teammates, and all of them only got 1 kill apiece. So, At least he got a kill. When it came to base XP, he's actually in third place, would you believe it? Because the Renegade managed 1,382 by virtue of the fact that he was tier 8. The Shrek managed 1,331 for the same reason. And Awppenheimer, because he was tier 9, got 1,257, slightly less, but he did get more damage overall. And in fourth place was that Liss as well, one of the tanks that was at the back or forced to go into the back, but actually it did prove effective for him because he was still alive at the end of the game. And if he stayed up there at the front trying to play that corner, he wouldn't have been to his value, it wouldn't have been in his worthwhile. Let's have a look at detail. 17 shots fired, 16 direct hits, 14 penetrations, 0 splash, damage of 6,103 hit points, of which 476 were at more than 300 meters. Most of the damage in this battle was done at very close range. 7 hits received from the enemy, only 2 of which actually penetrated, 5 non-penetrations. You can see a lot of those rounds bounced off the turret. The turret is very bouncy. The hull not so bouncy, actually. It's a little easier to penetrate the hull, and I think those 2 shots that did pen were hull shots. 1,890 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 1, and he got 390 hit points of damage assistance. That's where he got the Confederate, by the way. Now, in this game, he earned a profit, 42,442 credits out of this one. Again, not so much on the premium ammo, and he still had consumables, but yes, because he was doing that much more damage, and on top of that, he didn't have as much in consumables, therefore he actually got something out of it. 3,865 XP as well. It shows us fine for causing damage to allies. Well, it's cute that that came up. I think that's trying to indicate to him, I know there's no team damage, but if team damage was there, then you would have been fined for damaging your teammate because you blocked that Renegade on the way back. But I'm sure the Renegade driver didn't worry about it in the end anyway. So 2 very interesting battles by Awppenheimer. In the first one, he gets a high caliber, but he just can't carry the team. And in the second game, he carries the team, and he gets a high caliber and Confederate, and of course an ace tanker. I hope you enjoyed those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.